Hello, my name's Iain Chalmers. I'm coordinator of the James Lind Initiative, which is an initiative to try and, first of all, help the public understand that it's important to test uncertainties about the effects of treatments, because treatments sometimes do more harm than good, and we need to find out whether they do more good than harm and vice versa. I've been involved mainly with Starfish, the play, but also a little bit also with Steamfish, the computer program. Yes, it started with a group of us making brief presentations to the playwright, but also there were, I think, 3 school children there too. And obviously preparing for those brief presentations, I had to think about how I was going to get the importance of the message across that I feel is important. So I started by talking about the inadvertent mistakes I had made when I was a doctor, when I was a practicing clinician, because some of the things that I'd been taught at medical school were actually not only wrong, they were lethally wrong, and some of my patients died as a consequence of trying to giving treatment which actually wasn't good treatment. So ever since those early days, I've had a pretty passionate interest in finding out whether treatment does more good than harm or vice versa. And that's basically the message I tried to get across in that first workshop. Well, I was very glad that Judith Johnson gave us the opportunity to comment on more than one draft of her plans. Some of the early drafts didn't actually, I felt, bring out some of the key points about testing treatments. But by the time that she reached her final version, that problem had been addressed to an important extent. The play itself was incredibly moving. I mean, in some sense it was moving because I know that one of the people in the play was influenced by what I had said at the advisory committee, and indeed other people who had contributed to the advisory committee were reflected in some of the characters. But it was a very, very moving play, and there's absolutely no doubt about that. One hears it over and over again from people who've seen it. Well, I've got to say that what I wanted Starfish to do was to show that it could increase public general knowledge, or general knowledge among school children, about how treatments are tested reliably. And I felt that it was a wonderful opportunity, in fact, to actually do a research study to find out whether it was having that effect. The play could have been offered to a group of randomly selected schools, when the remaining schools from the selection could be asked to wait until they saw the play after 9 months or a year, something like that. Now, for a variety of reasons, that wasn't done, because what it would have done would have been to give us some idea about whether the play had had its intended effect on the knowledge of the school children about how treatments are tested. However, I'm actually quite impressed with the way that Turing took that challenge seriously, wasn't able to actually rise to the challenge in time to have that evaluation of the play, but from everything that I've heard subsequently has learned importantly from that experience, and hopefully those lessons will be reflected in future projects. It's very important that we should understand whether the interventions we use, whether they're surgical operations or plays for school children, have the desired effect. Probably every other day, if not every day, there are treatment claims made in the media somewhere. They may be on a Today program, they may be in newspapers or magazines, and it's quite important as a matter of sort of public general knowledge that people get some idea of the kind of questions that they've got to ask about the evidence upon which these claims are being made. That's, if you like, part of citizenship, that you should equip yourself to understand a little bit about whether the claims being made, for example, just apply to animals at this stage, and if so, are they good animal experiments or not, or whether in fact they're the results of sufficiently large studies involving patients or in fact healthy individuals too, that give you a good basis for coming to a strong conclusion. I was very impressed with the compere, is that what you call him, the person who moderated the debate and asked the questions. It's got to be said, he's not my kind of guy, but I was incredibly impressed with his skill in dealing with the children. When I say he's not my kind of guy, I guess what I'm saying is I'm not sure how well we'd get on together given his overconfident approach to his task. But he was, as far as I could see, extremely effective in extracting some very, very important observations from some of the students. I hope that it won't give up on this particular theme, you know, the theme of how treatments are tested, because public general knowledge continues to be extremely deficient. And if you go to the Science Museum or if you go to the Welcome Centre, you won't find anything that helps you. There are no exhibits, interactive or otherwise, which help you to understand how those things are tackled. So having seen the impact that Y. Turing's intervention, the play Starfish, clearly has, I'm very keen to understand whether drama can actually improve people's understanding of how treatments are tested. So I hope you won't give up on this just because the evaluation of Starfish doesn't provide you with the confident conclusion that it would be nice to have about its effect on education and knowledge. I think determined to bring better understanding about problematic issues to young people who are becoming adults.